Hey guys, welcome back to rhrjen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. There are so many news stories coming out about Harry and Meghan and everything from the supposed peace talks to the surprising person who just moved to Sussex. I can't wait to get into all this with you. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, and leave me comments, as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos, and I really appreciate it. All right, now let's jump right on in. Hey, before I do want to let you know that I have my other channel, Goose Adventures, where I've been uploading once a week, detailing how I've lost about 140 pounds. I'm telling what I did to lose it, what I ate, what steps I took, all that stuff. You can see my before and my after. So go check that out if you're the least bit interested. And thank you so much. Now let's jump right on in to the show. So starting with this one from St. Meghan Markle, posted by Karen Delaney Walker. And as a former fan of Will and Grace, not the reboot, it was garbage, but the original. And Karen being my favorite of the characters, I appreciate this username very much. But it says, Meghan Markle, the ratings for her Netflix show are even more disastrous than we imagined. I don't know. I imagine they're pretty disastrous, but I keep hearing similar and same. So I'm curious to see what's said here. It says some snippets. With love, Meghan. Meghan's Netflix lifestyle show was a flop. It's safe to say that. So a few days after the release of With Love, Meghan, Netflix's top 10 weekly audiences confirm the trend. So I believe it did drop out of the top 10 within, what are they saying here? They're saying a few days after. Interesting. But however long it wasn't long that it was out. And I wondered how much that was just people like me covering it and hate watching and everything in between. But it is funny with such a global push on the thing. And I mean, the head of Netflix, for some reason, has some sort of, she has a spell on him. And so he's into it. So you'd think if any program was going to get an extra bolster behind the scenes, it'd be this one. And it just, even if she did, it didn't seem to make any difference. And it is funny with after all the publicity talking about things from the crazy outfits to the, the bags of pretzels from one bag to another and everything like that, that it's still, even usually when something gets good press or bad press, there's a boost of ratings, but or just views. And it just didn't seem to help this one at all. Let's see here. So, they're talking about Suits. And when she was on Suits, her series Suits, and her is in quotation marks because they believe she was number 6 on the call sheet. Oh, but she was a star, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. If you don't believe her, just ask her. Royally Common says Netflix has over 300 million subscribers. Miss Twerkle couldn't even snag 5% with a massive publicity campaign and worldwide notoriety. Failure as ever. I don't know. I just think of the amount of hours I spent covering that thing. And what's funny is I did do every episode. You can go back and watch them if you want. I have a whole playlist. If you want to subject yourself to it, go for it. But even with that, like, you could see me losing my mind with every single episode. I think it was the second episode was the worst. It was the one with, I've already forgotten which number. I think it was number 2 was Mindy Kaling. That's the Sussex thing. That was just so insufferable. I could not. It was shocking even for Meghan to see just how bad it was. It really was. And I'm somebody who's covered her movies before. Stephanie Sidley and I sat down and covered, Dater's Handbook. We also covered, I can't remember the name of the other one. Oh, so bad. We've covered 2 of her movies, and I just couldn't believe how shockingly bad they were. But they make this With Love, Meghan look pretty Oscar worthy, I would say, compared to this epic fail of a TV show. Filthiest, however you say that last name, says Polo didn't even break 500,000 views. Yeah, I told you at the time I was out. And on like I was out for a medical thing, and so I was on bed rest for 2 weeks, and still I tried to watch Polo, and I said, I was like, "Listen, if it was even halfway decent, I would have watched it because Harry and Meghan really weren't in it from what I could tell. I watched part of an episode. So it would have been fine. No, no, it was so bad. It just was so everybody was so unlikable. Even then, I could not watch it. So I just scrolled my phone and said, I just couldn't watch it. I looked at other stuff and scrolled on my phone instead. I'd rather do that. So that tells you something there. This one, Bitter Pound, says we're all jealous because she's such a star. I just realized this thing has turned off. Okay, I'll turn it back on. Hold on one second. There we go. What on earth is her new plan? She must come up with something soon because ... That is exactly my question too. This is what I want you to chime in with in the comments. Let me know, what is her new plan? What's next? My opinion on that changes. I keep predicting, and you heard it here first, I predict there will be 2 books from her that come out. One when she's still with Has No Balls, and then one after she's left. This is just purely my opinion. I have no inside knowledge. I'm just telling you. I have this feeling because what else does she have? So the first one will be with when she's still with Harry. So I think she will release a book. But then, so that one will take, jabs at the royal family, and it'll be a necessity because I just have this feeling based on the news reports and just based on my brain that they must be running out of money. And so they're hemorrhaging money the way they spend. So I feel like she's going to release a book while she's with him. And then after he leaves, a whole nother book. And that one, the first one will be taking mostly jabs at the royal family. The second one will be taking mostly jabs at Harry. We'll see what happens. You can let me know if you think I'm right. What do you think the next move will be? More, I don't know, paparazzi walks? I don't even know if they would come out for her. I guess, again, hypothetically, if she were to maybe pay them, but I can't imagine. I just don't think so. Own Evidence says they're talking about Ted Sarandos, head of Netflix. Teddy Sarandos, are you still sure Meghan's a star? Forever in history with that idiotic remark. Yeah, he did say something like that, didn't he? Yeah. Could you imagine putting that down? Oof. Maybe she should try twerking while drizzling stuff on a waffle. Ugh. No, thanks. We saw how that went down. Although that probably got more views on it than the Netflix show did. At least it was quick. It was painful, but it was quick. I don't know. All right. Suspicious Sound says, right? I keep wondering what they're going to do to continue to make money. Exactly. I wondered the same thing. Is Better Up still paying Harry? I would assume so. I hadn't heard otherwise, but I don't know. I remember in the very early days, he was hoping to get paid for speaking engagements, but I think he only did 1 or 2. I think so. Now, he did do the one where he jetted off to China recently and then talked about what it was for Travelist, right? And again, I mean, I said at the time and I say now, how are you going to lecture the rest of us common folk, about green travel initiatives if you just jump on private planes and jet off to China? Okay, sure. Let's jet halfway around the world or fully around the world to give a speech on something that you couldn't just do from Zoom or something. Really? Okay, sure. Let's see. Continuing on. I think he only did 1 or 2, I guess, and victim pays him. Maybe. I don't know. But at the rate they must spend, I don't understand how that math is mathing. I don't think it is. I don't think King Charles would leave Harry out of his will completely, but I don't know how much that a monarch's will or the taxes on international inheritance works. I'd be clenching my cheeks big time if I were in their shoes. Well, these cheeks are smiling because I thought that was really funny. I'd be clenching my cheeks. Yeah. But you and I are thinking like normal, rational adults. I don't think they think like that. I just really suspect, I've said it before, I think Meghan just assumes the money's just going to keep coming in and every opportunity is just going to keep coming in. So, yeah, they just see from the outside listen, I don't know their finances, but from the outside looking in, it seems like they spend with reckless abandon. So, that security cost alone has got to be a fortune. No wonder he's pushing so hard with all these, I would say, frivolous lawsuits, but they are fun to watch either way. All right. This person says, is it wrong that this made me happy? And then I love this in parentheses throughout. Just kidding. I know it's not wrong. Then we had Jeremy Clarkson with, oh no. The hate watchers didn't come through for Netflix. I love that facial expression there. Oh no. Markle goes on 2 podcasts, makes an appearance on that Time Magazine event, at that Time Magazine event, and they're all blabbing about the huge success she's having. Huh? So then this person, Own Evidence, points out that I guess there were some stories going around that were claiming Meghan's more popular than Joe Rogan. And listen, I don't get political here. Decide what you want about that podcast. I don't care. Anytime I bring it up, somebody mentions, I don't like them, don't like them. I don't care. It's the same with the Kardashians. Like them, don't like them. I don't care. It's the numbers that I'm looking at. Look at the numbers. How in the world can anybody say that she was even in the same stratosphere of numbers? No way. I'm calling no way on that. All right. We knew it was disastrous. We tried to tell them. Everyone gets it. But me gain malarkey. Ooh, I like it. And Netflix. Me gain malarkey. All right, let's talk this story. This one was posted by a Feisty Energy 107. Love it. Says Harry and Meghan have no plans ever to move back to Britain. I am so sorry to my UK geeks. See, I couldn't even get through that without smiling and laughing. I know you guys are dancing and celebrating. If you could maybe pass along some advice to your cousins across the pond, aka the Americans, tell us what you guys did to make that happen and what we could do to make that happen, because they don't seem to want to leave here. We'll see. So they're saying they have no plans to move back to Britain. Okay, great. If it was the Sussexes who leaked, which it most likely was, and hoped the peace summit talk and the press interest would generate a better result, which has now been shut down by the royal family, ? Okay, let's talk. I said before, I'm saying again here, I don't believe it. I just don't. I don't believe that that was a peace talk. I don't believe it was a peace summit. I think that was Harry just maybe putting some feelers out. And I've said before, I think it's logistical. I don't, it could be anything. It could be about Invictus. It could have been about anything. Security, asking Pa for money, help me pay for these lawsuits, whatever it was. It's the Harkles. In my opinion, I feel like the Harkles set this up, and then the Harkles called the paparazzi or the press or whatever on it to have photos made. So how could you, even before this, how could you ever trust them? But it's like every time I say that, how could you ever trust them? You can't. That's the answer right there. All right. So Glass Cranberry says, LOL. So they leak reconciliation meeting. Then when it doesn't get the response they want, they clap back with, we didn't want to come back anyway. Exactly. I think that too. And that's what this person says. Exactly. I think so too. That is so them. That is so them. I think of that snotty response they gave to Her Majesty the late Queen when they were told they can't use Sussex Royal. Remember, they clapped back with something just so petulant and so spoiled that was like, nobody owns the word royal, something like that. It doesn't even matter, but you get the idea. It was such just a, again, I go back to petulant response from the two of them. That's what they do. These horrible clapbacks. I suspect it's her. I don't think he can string 2 sentences together. That's just my opinion. The wee donkey, great name, Je Suis. Am I saying that right? Je Suis. Kendall. Happy people don't expend so much energy trying to convince you they're happy. Exactly this. Happy people don't need to do that. I say the same thing. It's like the people who are nice. They don't have to tell you they're nice. Catherine, Princess of Wales, Doesn't have to tell you she's nice. She's just nice. She's out there being nice and people see it and people know it. So there you go. Happy people don't have to do that. This is one of my favorites. If you take away nothing else from this, let's take this away. Ready? Happy people also don't make it their mission to create trouble for others or strive to make them unhappy. Let's say that again for the people that can't quite understand this. Happy people don't make it their mission to create trouble for others or strive to make them unhappy, because there are people out there, such as the Harkles, that do things like this. That's not happy people. I agree. Interesting. I'd like to underline an exclamation point that one. So they leak their how did I say that? So they leak their reconciliation meeting. Then when it doesn't get the response they want, they clap back with, "We don't want to come back anyway." Oh, I already read that. Silly me. Okay. That's great. They're relevant in California. Small fish, big pond. Not even small fish, just pond scum. And one of my favorite responses is this one. Duck blank in the stream. And if you know, you know, I did a story, I think it went up on Friday, maybe, I can't remember, where I talk about the ducks and the duck ponds and all that. So yeah, duck blank in a stream. All right. And then we have this story put out by Radar Exclusive, but shared by Ruth Lilly. And it says, secrets behind why Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, had zero presence at Harry's royal family peace summit talk. Now, I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to say out loud, I don't believe any of it. But even if it was a royal talk, even if it was a royal peace talk, of course they're not there. They don't need to be there. Why would they be there? They don't need to waste their time. They're busy actually doing things. They're busy out there helping people and bringing awareness to causes. And I mean, Princess Anne's people weren't there either. She's out there doing things, being the people's princess, right? And being the hardest working royal. And I like to bring that up as often as I can because it clearly bothers Harry and Meghan. Because if you don't remember in Spare, they love to point out, like, Princess Anne got credit for all these. They didn't call her out by name, but I know that's who they were talking about. She got credit for all these, what do they call it? Engagement numbers and stuff, whereas she didn't deserve that, basically. Like petulant, spoiled brats. Again, they're always clapping back. Whereas Tom Bower in, say it with me, Revenge, said, well, Harry and Meghan got credit for things like going to a polo game as an engagement, if you really want to get technical. So really, you really want to split hairs on that? You guys out there curing cancer, are you? I don't think so. So I just find it funny. They blank about everybody, and yet they cannot turn around and look at themselves. So again, we're not even going to go into this article. You get the idea. There's just no way. They're talking about how Prince William values duty and privacy and all these things, and this is not it. The Waleses have remained intentionally distant, and no further talks between aides are currently scheduled. The sources close to William say that without a meaningful apology from Harry and Meghan, any reconciliation will be unlikely to involve Prince and Princess of Wales. I don't think even an apology would do it at this point. They have harassed and in my opinion, really gone after, especially the Princess of Wales. No, you don't do that. She's been loyal and wonderful. No, no, thank you. Why now? Says they're so cooked once William takes the throne. They have to know that. Great Pen says, I don't think that they do. Yet between the two of them, they share the same IQ numbers as a bag of rocks. That's pretty good. I really like the phrase. I learned it one time reporting on one of these stories, and it was like, they have room temperature IQ. I thought that was pretty good. William and Catherine's official response, or that could be a lot of curse words. You can decide how you want to take that. It'd be kind of cool if he took them prisoner when he was king, like Game of Thrones, banished them somewhere. Can you imagine how this would have played out if it was 600 years ago? Wish we had a royal time machine. Okay, side note. Did anybody see the movie Knocked Up? I love that movie. I know it's controversial because of the whole Katherine Heigl complaint about it, but it's really funny. And anytime I say time machine, I think of that movie because Paul Rudd, oh, so cute. Paul Rudd said something like, it was Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. They were pretending to come on to each other. And Paul Rudd said, he grabbed his drink and said something like, "This is my time machine," meaning like, I don't know, like if he drinks a little more, he could go back in time and hook up with the brother-in-law instead of the girl he picked. This is funny. Human Economics says William and Catherine weren't left out. There simply wasn't a need for them to be represented because it wasn't a meeting of any significance. I think so too. Okay. And then they talk about who went. It doesn't matter. They're just one trick ponies, is what they're saying. Agree. King Charles III was such a fool to even acknowledge their people and once again give them illusion of being relevant. Glad it's slapping him in the face was such a dumb move. I can't really fault King Charles. I've said that before. I know this is an unpopular opinion. It's hard because as a parent, you're always going to love your kid. Your kid is your kid is your kid. There's nothing that my Gosling could do, to change that. But I think there's common sense here. I think at some point you have to realize, okay, so I have two sons. Talking for King Charles here. He has two sons. One has shown to be nothing but loyal and wonderful and has this great family and seems like everything's gone well. And I've heard reports of sometimes contention between King Charles and Prince William, but I think for the most part, they seem to really enjoy each other. I think, any parent is going to have a little bit of contention with it's just part of being a human being, not contention. That's not the right word, but you're going to have disagreements as a family, especially I would think in a position like that, if you have differences in the way you're going to rule things. I mean, I've heard reports that King Charles had some differences with Her Majesty the late Queen. It doesn't mean she didn't love him any less. I think it's just part of being, once you become an adult and you start thinking for yourself and stuff, like you're going to naturally disagree. You don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. So it's not a dig at William at all or King Charles, but I do think King Charles has been too soft with him. It's time to look at the son that has been there and shown himself time and time again. And I do think that's what's happening. But I also think King Charles would never completely disown Prince Harry either. So that's just my opinion. Yeah. So why now is pointing out parents are blind when it comes to their children. Good thing he has people surrounding him that can suss out the rats. A lot of elders don't have that security. Yeah, I know. It's sad. Then we have this one. Johnny Depp moves to Sussex. Did you guys know this? I didn't know this. I'm asking for a friend. Do we need to take a field trip to Sussex to go hang out with Johnny Depp? I think so too. So yeah, Johnny Depp moves to Sussex, and just like that, we could have a new Duke. I think that's really funny. That's what people are talking about. They want to vote Johnny. I know it's not a vote, but they want to bring Johnny in as the new Duke of Sussex and ditch the other one. I think that's fantastic. But it's being reported on by Daily Mail that Johnny Depp moves to Sussex. Pirates of the Caribbean star snaps up a large house after living in the country during COVID in guitarist Jeff Beck's 18th century cottage. So yeah, people are saying that they should let the good people of Sussex decide. Can you imagine? It would, if there was some sort of vote. Oh my gosh, it wouldn't even be close. Not even close. I could imagine. I would imagine that Johnny would have that by a landslide. If Harry loses, he has to walk the plank in Oprah's duck pond. I think that's really funny. Oh, that's good. All right. So Witty Town says, how long before the Twerkles make a quick visit to Sussex, then claim they're all besties? I expect that the mediocre mafia, the sugar squad, to announce any time now that he moved there because of the Twerkles. I love calling them the Twerkles. That's brilliant. Guarantee they're going to go into the overdrive to try to connect with him, just like they've tried with John Travolta. Well, this person points out exactly what I was thinking too. There is no way. Try all they want. He has had more than a lifetime share of narcissists in his life, a la Amber Heard. And so, yeah, they're saying he's well versed on narcissism. He can suss out those two quickly and will not engage. I tend to fall in this camp as well. There's no way they can try all they want. They could send him all the jam they want to send him. I think he's a polite guy. He'd probably be polite, but I can't imagine he's dying to hang out with those two. There's no way. No way. Okay. So we're not diagnosing anyone. We're just saying hypothetically, if you believe Amber Heard is a narcissist, I believe she is, but I don't know. I don't know her. If you believe it, and if you believe Meghan Markle's a narcissist, I believe it. I don't know her. Who do you think's the bigger one? Let me know in the comments. Dying to know. I guess okay, here's a better question. If you had to work for either Amber Heard or Meghan Markle for 1 week, who would you pick to work for? Let me know in the comments. Dying to know. Who would I pick? Oh my gosh. That one's so hard. Huh. I was trying to think who would be fake nicer to me longer. I think Amber would be fake nicer to me longer, but I think I'd pick Meghan and then I'd come back and report to all you guys. I'd wear wires and cameras and all that and I'd come back and report it. How about that? There's my answer. What's your answer? Let me know in the comments. You have to work for 1 week for either Amber or Meghan. Let me know in the comments who you pick. All right. So this person says they'll be offering him the position of special envoy of the House of Montecito to Sussex. In addition, he'll be given flying lessons by the legend of aviation himself. And then I couldn't get this gift to play here, but you get the idea. The helicopter is upside down and rotating, and it made me laugh. Oh my goodness. All right. They will never set foot in Sussex again. They did it once, and as far as they're concerned, that was enough. The children will go as adults, maybe if they pay for themselves. Yeah, I tend to fall in that camp too. I don't think they'll ever step foot. But if they thought they could be friends with Johnny Depp, I don't know if they'd make the trek over there, but they find a way to advertise that they were hanging out with him somehow. But it'll never happen. It'll never happen. All right. I'm leaving this here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to further support the show, you know how to do it. Check out the merch. Make it make sense. Everything's fine. And I do have Team Catherine stuff as well. So check that out. And also check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Yes, it's my old name, but it's a ton of bonus content, hundreds of videos. Check that out if you're the least bit interested. And a huge thank you to my lovely geese and ganders who support me by being executive producers. I really, really appreciate that. All right, that'll do it for me. Let me know your thoughts on all this. Let me know your thoughts on who you'd rather work for. Do you believe the peace talks? What do you think about the William and Catherine of it all? All of it. Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. Be sure that you've subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments, as all those help. And as I mentioned before, I'm stalling while I pull it. Make sure you're also subscribed to Goose Adventures. I've been posting videos once a week over there, so go check that out if you have the least bit of interest. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Let me know what you think of the look. I tried something a little different. I did like a bronze goddess look. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you guys for everything. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, they're gone. Hi, how are you? How are things? What's going on? So I tried a new makeup tutorial. What did I just say? Tutorial? No, tutorial. And I like it. I like the pinks that I was doing. I think those are cool, but this is a different look. What do we think? Let me know. I don't it's funny, I said it on the Patreon and I'm saying it here. I don't actually wear that much makeup in real life, so I really don't know what I'm doing, but I do for camera because I have 60,000 lamps, if you know, like beaming at me, and if I don't, I look tired and washed out. I mean, I just do. So I've been trying to practice and improve how I do it. So I've been watching tutorials, and I watched this guy that said if you have blue eyes, which I do, he said use like this sun-kissed look. Try this. So I did, and I do like it. I don't know if it made the blue eyes more blue. I think the pinks actually do that, but you can let me know in the comments if you like it. I thought it was kind of fun. I like this part. What's funny is I sent a picture to a friend and I said, "Hey friend, what do you think?" And they said, "You look good. You look really you look like you're about to go host the Oscars or something." And I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, it's just a shirt. Like it's just a shirt that sits like this, and I'm wearing running shorts. So I'm really not as fancy as I look like I am. But I just got these and I thought these were fun. I don't know if you can see the detail. Hold on. They're Ralph Lauren. And I thought that I love a good pair of gold hoops. But see, they're like, what's that? Like almost a braided texture. I don't know if you can see it. I thought it was just cute and fun. So I like the way that they catch the light. Um, Oh, I also got that too. I thought that was fun. It's just like, again, Ralph Lauren. I thought it was fun. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Let me know your thoughts on all this. Thanks for being here. Let me know your thoughts on the golden look. What do we think? Let me know in the comments. Does it make the eyes look more blue or are there, I think the pinks maybe do. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Sorry. If you're not into makeup, I get it. It could be really boring. I get it. Somebody asked me to put a makeup tutorial at the end of one of these videos. I can do that. I did the whole tutorial over on Patreon. But if you want me to tack it on the end of one of these, I can do that if you want. I mean, this is a different look. It's my whatever the previous stuff that I was doing. If you want to see that, I can do that. Let me know. All right. I also did a hair tutorial on Patreon too, where I went through the whole process of what I do to curl my hair if you're interested in that. All right. I'm going to let this go. Thank you guys for being here. Can't wait to read your comments. Oh, if you stay to the end, what do you think? What do we think? What should we post? What could be our secret word? You want to do golden? Let's do golden. Let me know. All right. Write golden if you stayed to the end. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you.